Alright, welcome to the ever-changing print room. This will eventually be closed in, but today we're going to be fixing an SV04 that has decided to start shifting. I have two of them that decided to start shifting. It's an easy fix. It's either the CR Touch or the wire. Typically it's these wires. As they move all the time, they break down, starts throwing odd signals. That's the only thing I can think of. But I know this is what fixes it. Thing is, when you get them, these are wrong the way they have these wires, and I'll rip this one off and show you. So you have to flop the wires around in order to make this work. I think that's why a lot of people get mad and they say they're not good printers. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut all these off. Hopefully get you some good angles here. And pop these 4 screws off of your extruder head. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see it and I'm not in your way. Maybe one day if this YouTube thing works out, we'll get a better setup, but right now that's not how I make money. So here's your CR Touch. You're going to take that off, and typically it's this entire cable that kind of starts going bad in here. Sometimes it's this, but I'm not going to go with that. We're going to replace. You can see these tiny little wires are kind of creased here. I'm guessing they're getting pinched, sending a bad signal, because I'll get a good print once in a while and then a bad print. So we're going to go ahead and change it. I'm going to flip this around. We're going to take the back off. This is an Amazon returns printer. I buy most of my new SV04s that I get that way now because they're super cheap and they're just absolutely ridiculous to work on. I've gotten a lot of good prints out of this one already. So it's not that it's an Amazon return that it's broken. It's just what happens. These CR Touch wires go bad and you just got to know how to fix it. It's not that bad. These SV04s are workhorses. Took me a while to figure out how to do it so quick, but once you get it, you realize what you need, what you don't need. I won't even put this protective thing back on. I'll probably just toss it in the garbage. All right. So I'm going to take that one off and I'll show you here what I mean by what you need to do. So pay attention to these wires and their color coordination. I'll leave a link to the Amazon ones I get of these. You're going to need to cut the glue off. What I do is I just typically cut this wire and just rip it right off. So alright, so all I did is clip that so I can just yank this out easy, right through here. Okay, these are a little different, but that's fine, basically the same thing. But if you see here, see how it's white, black, blue, red, yellow? So you need to exchange the blue and yellow. This is the old one. See how they're swapped? You need to swap it on this one. So blue and yellow need to be swapped. You take just a little pick, you push down on the pins, and that'll pop right out. This is the same thing you have to do if you replace the stepper motors as well. The stepper motor wires. They're solid black, so it kind of sucks. You don't know which one, but you figure it out. And then I just swap those, push it back in. You can bend those things up so they grab, but it grabbed there, see. So now we have the correct layout. And you can take some glue and put it in there. I might do that later. I've never had massive trouble as long as you hold it and push it up. For me, they go bad, not so fast, but you know, every few months I'll have to change one, so it might last 6 months without me doing you know, anything to one of them. Now this is where you have to be really careful, because you don't want to damage that CR touch sensor. Yeah, and you can buy them and they come with the cable, so if you ever just ruin this, you can just get a new one, not use the cable till you need it. So they hot glue everything in there. That does help, but what it doesn't help with is the back and forth of these itty bitty wires getting just moved around all the time. You know, they're tiny wires and there's pinch points. All right, now the fun part. We have to weasel this all the way back in, and I should have done it. I should have left it turned around and weaseled it in, so we're gonna do that. Turn it like that. You just kind of bunch, you just can't see here, can you? You kind of bunch this this cabling shielding up. And you jam it in. You kind of feed it through. And you can pull this shielding back, kind of work it in until you grab it. Then you can pull a bunch through, pull that shielding back. We'll deal with that back here in a minute, so we'll come back to here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to rerun this. For as much as we need. Push that stuff back in. And you want to make sure this isn't going to get creased anywhere. Seat it back in, and again, you can take some hot glue on it, but that's not a huge priority. Like I said, I've never, if you do this, like I've never had it be this problem. Here, what happens is it gets screwed up in there. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this back on. Then we'll go ahead and zip tie everything. And we'll just kind of hope that was our problem. We got to make sure this isn't going to rub on these back wires here, because this could hit this thing here and those wires could rub, so that's what you don't want. So I'm going to pull a little bit more here. And again, you really got to be careful, because sometimes they like to not stay right. But let's go ahead and get this back in. All right, we got those back on. We got it zip tied up. You want to make sure you're not putting any undue stress on these with your zip ties. I've had it where I was shifting a lot and all I did is cut it, and then all of a sudden it worked, or this wasn't feeding, and then I cut it and it automatically, it just started working again. So these wires here, just, if you ever have any problems, typically, if this starts going, you've got to replace this wire. Most of the time it's this, unless it's a clogged extruder, which you should know, but if it does that, you need to replace this wire, and it's normally never the entire extruder assembly, it's just your stepper motor drive. So I'm going to turn this around. What we're going to do is we're going to jam this up in there. We're not going to lock anything in permanently till we get a good level. So I'm just going to straighten this out. Zip tie this back on. We'll just kind of leave that all dangly for now. And what we're going to do, we'll plug this back in. We're going to watch this and make sure it does its thing. It should turn on and go purple. Look at that, it did. So it went purple. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up to temp. I'm going to run a level, and then we're going to do a print. And then hopefully it works. If not, we're going to replace the CR touch sensor. Again, these are the ones I get. What are you doing, buddy? Do you think I'm talking to people down here? Huh? I'm talking to the camera. Look, say hi. Oh, no one's down here, so you're going to leave? All right. See you later. I'm talking to myself, so he's barking. So I got these CR touch. It's these ones. New Ender CR Touch Kit, durable BL Touch. It's the ALT01, I think, and I think the ALT04 is for the Ender. Let's see. Oh, ALT04. So maybe ALT04 is for these. ALT01. I don't think ALT01 works for this. I want to say that's for the Pro, or the ALT04. Okay. So you want the ALT04. ALT01 is, I can't even think of it, this printer. Ender 3 Plus. That's that one. Jeez, took me a while to get that out of my mouth. Oh, all brand new. Yeah, I got a bunch of them, because again, they go bad. Same with a bunch of the wires for the stepper motors, you know, a bunch of these. For this looks like a whole different board, the back board, so just beware, like when you're doing this, it's not all going to be the same, because this is my newest one, and that plug-in is different, but it's still jammed in there. So we're warming up. It's going to get warm. I'm going to do a test, and we'll bring it back in and see if it fixed it. All right, so we have some successful prints. I think this is the one I redid. And look, it isn't shifting. You see here, it's not shifting. That one's done. This one didn't shift, so that means I fixed the issue. So now we need to fix this one, and then those two are done. But yeah, that's how you fix your shifting issue. It's always just these little wires. They just kind of get, you know, that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just wears them out over time. So now I'm going to go watch football. Remember, I do it the wrong way, so you don't have to.